a shimmering expanse of turquoise waters, teeming with marine life and rich in resources. This vast body of water is not just a natural wonder, but also a crucial artery for global trade, with nearly a third of the world's shipping passing through its waters. Beneath its surface lies a treasure trove of oil and natural gas reserves, making it a highly coveted region. Yet, this seemingly idyllic region is a powder keg of geopolitical tension, with China and the Philippines locked in a bitter dispute over its control. The presence of military forces from various nations only adds to the volatility, as each country seeks to assert its dominance and protect its interests. The heart of the matter? Overlapping claims to islands, reefs and vast maritime territories, each holding strategic and economic significance. China's controversial Nine-Dash Line, which claims nearly the entire South China Sea, is a major point of contention. This line overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of several Southeast Asian nations, leading to frequent confrontations and diplomatic standoffs. This dispute has far-reaching implications, not just for China and the Philippines, but for regional stability and the global order. The South China Sea is a critical maritime route, and any conflict here could disrupt global trade, impact economies, and escalate into a larger international crisis. The stakes are high, with potential for conflict looming large. The military build-up in the region, including the construction of artificial islands and the deployment of advanced weaponry, has raised alarms worldwide. The risk of a miscalculation or accidental clash is ever present, making the situation precarious. Understanding the complexities of this dispute is crucial for navigating the turbulent waters of the South China Sea and preventing a catastrophic escalation. The historical claims, legal arguments and strategic interests of the involved parties create a tangled web that is difficult to unravel. The potential for conflict is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. The delicate balance in the region could be tipped by any aggressive action, leading to a chain reaction of military responses and heightened tensions. It underscores the urgent need for dialogue, cooperation, and a commitment to peaceful resolution. Diplomatic efforts, confidence-building measures, and adherence to international law are essential to diffuse tensions and find a sustainable solution. The world watches and waits, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. The international community has a vested interest in ensuring that the South China Sea remains a sea of peace and cooperation, rather than a flashpoint for conflict. The future of this vital region depends on the ability of nations to work together and resolve their differences through peaceful means. The South China Sea dispute is not a recent phenomenon. It is deeply rooted in history. This region has long been a crossroads of maritime trade, cultural exchange, and strategic military interests. For centuries, China has asserted its claim over these waters, citing historical usage and ancient maps. These maps, some dating back to the Ming Dynasty, depict the South China Sea as an integral part of Chinese territory, reinforcing their long-standing claims. The Philippines, on the other hand, bases its claim on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, and its proximity to the disputed territories. According to UNCLOS, nations have sovereign rights over waters extending 200 nautical miles from their coastlines, known as exclusive economic zones, or EZs. Tensions escalated in 2012 with the Scarborough Shoal standoff, where Chinese and Filipino vessels engaged in a tense standoff, ultimately leading to China gaining control of the area. This standoff was a significant turning point, marking a new phase of heightened tensions and strategic maneuvering in the region. This incident served as a wake-up call for the Philippines, highlighting the growing assertiveness of China in the region. The Philippines began to seek stronger alliances and support from other nations, including the United States, to counterbalance China's influence. Adding fuel to the fire was the 2016 landmark ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague. This ruling was a pivotal moment in the South China Sea dispute, drawing international attention and setting a legal precedent. The tribunal overwhelmingly ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's expansive Nine-Dash Line claim over the South China Sea. The Nine-Dash Line, a demarcation line used by China, encompasses almost the entire South China Sea, overlapping with the EEZs of several Southeast Asian nations. However, China rejected the ruling, dismissing it as null and void. Beijing's stance has been that the tribunal had no jurisdiction over the matter, and they have continued to fortify their presence in the region, building artificial islands and military installations. These historical flashpoints have cast a long shadow over the South China Sea, fueling mistrust and raising the spectre of conflict. The strategic importance of these waters, rich in resources and vital for global shipping routes, ensures that the South China Sea will remain a focal point of geopolitical tensions for years to come. The international community watches closely, as the actions taken by the involved nations could have far-reaching implications for regional stability and global trade. In any hypothetical war scenario, it is crucial to analyze the military capabilities of the opposing forces. China, with its rapidly modernizing military and vast resources, dwarfs the Philippines in terms of military might. It boasts a formidable arsenal of advanced warships, fighter jets, missiles, and a substantial nuclear capability. The Philippines, while actively modernizing its armed forces, faces a significant disadvantage. Its military is primarily focused on territorial defense and counterinsurgency operations, lacking the advanced weaponry and manpower to match China's military might in a conventional conflict. While the Philippines has strengthened its military cooperation with allies like the United States, the disparity in military power remains a sobering reality. It underscores the asymmetrical nature of the conflict and the challenges faced by the Philippines in defending its claims. Friends in need, the Philippines' allies. The Philippines, an archipelago in Southeast Asia, finds itself in a complex geopolitical landscape. With its strategic location and rich maritime resources, it has become a focal point of regional tensions. Despite its military limitations, the Philippines is not alone in this dispute. The nation has sought to bolster its defense capabilities through various means, including international cooperation and military aid. It has forged strong geopolitical alliances, particularly with the United States, a treaty ally. This relationship is rooted in historical ties and shared strategic interests. The US has repeatedly affirmed its commitment to defending the Philippines under the Mutual Defense Treaty, particularly in the event of an armed attack in the South China Sea. This treaty, signed in 1951, serves as a cornerstone of their bilateral relations. Besides the US, other global powers like Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom have expressed concerns over China's assertive actions in the region and have increased their naval presence in the South China Sea. These nations recognize the importance of maintaining freedom of navigation and upholding international law. This growing international attention to the dispute puts pressure on China to exercise restraint and seek peaceful solutions. Diplomatic efforts and multilateral dialogues are being pursued to address the complexities of the situation. These alliances provide a degree of deterrence and security for the Philippines. The presence of allied forces in the region acts as a counterbalance to potential threats, enhancing the country's defense posture. However, the extent to which these allies would intervene in an actual conflict remains uncertain, adding another layer of complexity to the equation. The Philippines must navigate this intricate web of alliances and rivalries with caution, ensuring that its national interests are safeguarded while promoting regional stability. Beyond borders' economic and strategic stakes, the South China Sea is not just a body of water, it's an economic and strategic lifeline. Beneath its surface lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, crucial resources in a world hungry for energy. The region also boasts some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, carrying trillions of dollars in goods annually. For China, control over the South China Sea would secure its energy security, enhance its maritime trade routes, and solidify its regional dominance. For the Philippines, it's about safeguarding its territorial integrity, protecting its fishing grounds, and ensuring its economic future. The economic and stakes are enormous, turning the South China Sea into a potential flashpoint for conflict. The competition for resources and control over vital sea lanes adds another layer of complexity to the dispute, making peaceful resolution even more challenging. Imagining the unimaginable war scenarios. While the prospect of a full-blown war between China and the Philippines seems unlikely, it is not beyond the realm of possibility. Several scenarios could ignite a conflict, from accidental clashes at sea to miscalculations by either side. One scenario involves China attempting to seize control of another disputed feature, such as Second Thomas Shoal, prompting a military response from the Philippines. Another scenario could see China imposing an air defense identification zone, ADIZ, over the South China Sea, escalating tensions with the Philippines and its allies. These scenarios, while hypothetical, highlight the potential for miscalculation and the possibility of a conflict spiraling out of control. The consequences of such a conflict would be devastating, not just for China and the Philippines, but for the entire region and beyond.